So I made a reel on why I regret becoming a pharmacist, and it went viral. And I realized that there's so many people that are in my shoes that are confused about what they should do in terms of their career. So I wanted to make a list of the 8 things to look into before you pick a career. And I wish I had done this, because if I did, I would have never picked pharmacy. So the first one that you want to look into is job stability. You want to see in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, like, will your job still be there? And so with AI and technology increasing, there's a lot of jobs that are not very stable, and they might not be around in 20 years. Telemarketers, cashiers, and even accountants, like, their jobs are at risk. The second thing you guys want to look into is work-life balance. If I looked into this, I would have never became a pharmacist, because there really is not work-life balance. Sometimes as a pharmacist, you have to work midnights, you have to work weekends, you have to work holidays, and that's true for a lot of healthcare workers. Geographical consideration is something no one thinks about. So for example, I'm originally from Michigan. My husband, he is an automotive engineer. And so when we lived in Michigan, he worked at Chrysler, and there's a lot of jobs in the automotive field. When we moved to California, his jobs, like the job market in the automotive field in California, was very limiting. So think about, where do you want to live in 10 or 20 years? When it comes to career advancement, you want to see, is there growth for you to move up in the company, or, become a manager, a director, a VP, or whatever that you want to do. And then also you want to see if there's any opportunity for growth in your income, or are you going to be stagnant with how much you started making when you started working? I wish I had just simply Googled 10-year job outlook for a pharmacist. If you don't know what I mean, Google 10-year job outlook for whatever you're thinking about, and you'll see. Burnout rate is so real, and it happens in so many industries. One thing I wish I did is I wish I spoke to more pharmacists and just asked them, hey, are you happy with your job? Like, do you feel burnt out? Do you regret becoming a pharmacist? And if I had simply done this exercise and asked 10 pharmacists this, I'm sure 9 out of 10 would have told me they are burnt out, and I would have known to not become a pharmacist. Financial growth opportunity is so important because of inflation, you guys. Like, every year, if inflation is 5%, 7%, 10%, and if you're making the same amount that you did last year, you're now making less money. So you want to see, like, are there potential for raises, or can you like hop from one job to another in your industry and make $20,000, $30,000 more every time you do hop? And oh my gosh, this last one, everyone needs to look into, because again, I wish I had done this. Calculate how much money is it going to cost for you to get this degree. Like, don't take into consideration financial aid or anything. Just how much is it to get this degree? And then when you graduate, how much will you make? If you end up spending more money to get a degree than how much you would make when you graduate, it makes no sense for you to go into that career. And a great example of that is as a pharmacist. Like, most pharmacists will spend $200,000 to $300,000 for their bachelor's and their doctorate degree, but then when they graduate, they'll barely make $100,000, which makes no sense. Now, my husband, he's an engineer, right? Engineering degrees do not cost that much, maybe $50,000, but then he graduated and he made close to $100,000, so he was not upside down on his loans. So if you guys like this content, please give me a follow, because my whole aim is to make content that makes you guys healthier and wealthier. And also follow me on Instagram and YouTube, because I have a lot more content on this topic.